So in today's video tutorial, I want to demonstrate to you guys how to set up your instant fund in TikTok Ads Manager. So there are two ways that you can navigate to your instant form in TikTok Ads Manager. The first method is when you are creating a campaign. So if you want to see your instant form when you are creating a campaign, all you have to do is just to come here where you see create a campaign button, click on it. So once you click on it, then come to lead generation objective, select the lead generation objective, put it on manual, then click on continue. Once you do that, you'll be taken to the ad group level, right? So in this ad group level, make sure that your location is instant form. Where you intend to send people to is instant form. Then click on continue. So once you click on continue, you're going to be taken to the last stage, which is the ad stage, right? So in this ad stage, in this ad stage, you have the opportunity to create your lead form. So you see create, choose from library. So let's say you have a instance form that are created in the past, you can click here and you tend to use it for probably your present campaign, right? So you can click on choose from what is the name again? Choose from library, right? So you can click on choose from library and all your instance forms that you have created in the past are going to come out here for you and just need to select the right one. So, but then if you don't have anyone or maybe you intend to create one from scratch, right, for this particular campaign that you are running, all you have to do or you're about to run, you can click on create a campaign. So once you click on create a campaign, then you can follow this prompt. So I would prefer that you use this create your own instead of using a template or generate with AI. So this one I don't recommend that the two options, right? So I would recommend that you create your own instead of following these two options. So if you, once you do that, then you see form layout, card layout, you can select the card layout. But then this is first option, right? So for the second option that you can use to create your instant form is come to where we have tools. So in this section that we have tools, come to lead center. So click on this lead center. Then because I already have a campaign here, right? So I'm just going to click on exit here. So this is our lead center, right? Let's just wait for it to load and you can see that you can also create your instance from this section as well. So you see instance form, right? Bring it to instance form and click on instance form. So you see lead management, instant form, direct message, and the rest of them. So the two instant form that we created that actually showed up for us in that choose from library, you can see it, right? So these are the two forms we created in the past. So if you want to create a new instant form, all you have to do is to click on this plus create form that you are seeing by the top right of the screen, right at the header section. So click on this create a form. So once you click on create a form, you see that we are still taken back to the same interface that we just left, right? Then put it on the last option that says create your own. Then we are going to be using form layout instead of card layout because this is a form we want to create, right? So we're going to be using this form layout. Click on continue. Then let's just wait for it to load. So the first thing I have to do here is just to give your instant form a name. So tutorial, I'm just gonna say tutorial art course, tutorial art course for instance. So I'm just going to give it this name, right? Then the next thing we have to do is to upload our banner. So this banner is the picture that is going to be displaying at the background of this instant font that we are trying to create, right? So all you have to do is to click on this update. So once you click on this update, then you can select any of your what is it called, any of your images or graphics that you have designed specifically for the purpose of this ads that you intend to run. So I'm just going to select a random image right now. I'm going to select this image. I'm going to make sure it's cropped properly. Click on continue, right? So you see that it has been uploaded. So you can be seeing the preview of your ad also by the right hand side of the screen. So you see the image we just uploaded, right? So this is how it's appearing, right? So then the next thing that you have to do is your introduction. So for this introduction, click on this drop down arrow. So in this drop down arrow, you just need to upload. We've uploaded our banner, right? So the next thing that we have to upload here is our logo. So click here. So if you have a business logo, let me use this TikTok logo for the sake of this tutorial. But if you have a business logo, just ensure to select your business logo, right? So I'm just going to select this. I'm going to click on continue as well, right? Then next thing we're going to be doing is our instant form headline. Make sure to give a headline that is very very catchy, right? So for this, I might say you will never regret purchasing this course, something like that. You will never, you will never regret, you will never regret purchasing this course, something like this. But make sure that it is so unique on your end, right? And also this description you can also try to like include the benefit of your course. Maybe one, it's an easy to follow course tutorial, something like this tutorial. Then two, we can also say we offer after sales coaching, something like this, something like this. So just make sure to to write the benefits that your clients are going to be getting once they purchase the particular product or something from you, right? So these are very, very important. Then the next thing is our question. So for this question, you can see that we are collecting email and we are collecting name and the email, right? So you see that it was not well arranged before. This was how it looks like email is ahead, then name is below. I don't want that, right? So I want the name to be the first thing that is going to display for these people. Then the next thing is their email address and probably their phone number. So I'm going to be requesting for their phone number. So if you want to add additional info to this two that is here in default, all you have to do is to click on this add button. So once you click on this add button, you can see contact info, user info, demographics, work information, national ID number. So there are different informations that you can actually request from your potential clients, right? So I'm going to be clicking on this contact info. Then you see that we've already selected our email, right? So that's why email is shown here, and we cannot select email again. So if you want to also uh, le- if you also want people to tell you the state that they are living in your country, you can also select this, right? But for this, I just want to get their phone number. So I don't want any long talk. So I want to get their name, their phone number. So these are the things that I want to get right. So I want to get their name, phone number, and also their email address. Then the next thing, if you want to ask a custom question, so but then before I forget, this is very, very important. You see, specify the reason for the form and what information you are collecting. So it is very important that you let people know why you are collecting their contact information or asking sensitive questions, right? So for this, I'm going to say something like the the contact information provided will be used for follow-up purpose only. So like people need to consent to these things that okay, this is what my contact information, my phone number and email address that I'm going to be providing for this person. This is what it's going to be used for, right? Then it's very, very important. Like I said, let's say you want to ask a custom question, you can click on this add, right? You see we have a different options, short answer and multiple choices. So these are the two options that I use mostly, right? So I'm going to be going by the first option, which is this short answer, right? So for this short answer, I can decide to ask a question, and people are going to be typing the response manually. So the advantage of this option is that any lead that you are going to be getting through this route is going to be a quality lead to some extent because these people they actually consent before um, submitting their details, number one. Then number two, they actually type the responses for you. So it's not something that you'll be like, oh, I don't know when I fill this thing. probably it's my son or my daughter that actually fill this thing. So you are not going to encounter any error like that, right? So for the first question, I want to ask, like, maybe have you learned any skill online? Have you learned any skill virtually in the past? So it is up to the person now to answer yes or no that I have learned a skill, blah blah blah. So the option here is the answer or the result that is going to be here is probably going to be dependent on what the client or the potential client, the potential client intend to fill in, right? Then the next thing is, let's say we still want to ask another question. So this time around, we don't want to use a short answer anymore. We want to use a multiple choice. So for this multiple choice, we're going to be asking them that, do you prefer virtual virtual classes or physical classes? Now, the next thing we need to input our options, right? Because the first one we did, there is no option for us to put the answers for clients. But with this option, you can actually put two, three options, and the client will have that opportunity to select one of the options. So, do you prefer virtual classes, right? So maybe the first question, the first answer, or the first response is, I prefer, I prefer virtual. I prefer virtual classes. This is first response. Then you're going to click on, you see this plus here, click on this plus again to enter another response. So for the second response, you can say, I prefer physical, prefer physical classes. So if you want to remove a question, for instance, let's say I want to remove this particular question, right? Let's say I am not okay with this question anymore and I want to remove it. You see this minus button here, click on this minus button and the response is going to be removed. And if you want to add it back again, click on this plus button, then I'm going to be pasting the response again. So you see, we've asked about two questions, right? Have you learned any skill virtually in the past? So the person have to type the response manually. You can see, please enter the answer. But this time around, the second question we asked, do you prefer virtual classes, or this should be or not on? Do you prefer virtual classes or physical classes? Right? So the first option is I prefer virtual classes. The second option is I prefer physical classes. So it is up to the person. So these questions are actually going to help you to filter your leads, right? So that any lead that you are getting at the end of the day, you know that, oh, this lead is actually a quality lead and this person actually consented to everything from beginning to the end. Then the next thing that you need to do before you are done with this session is your privacy policy. So this privacy policy is very, very important. So without this, you will not be able to submit your lead form. So you need to enter your business name, right? So for this, I'm going to be entering my business name. So my business name is Digital Vantage, right? So then the next thing is link test. Just leave this link test the way it is. The most important next thing that you need to do is this a privacy policy link. So for this privacy policy link, if you don't have a website that has a privacy policy, all you need to do is just go to your browser and search for websites that are related to what you do, and then go to their privacy policy section to copy their privacy policy link, and then you can come here to paste it here. But though this is not right, so this is not recommended, so you don't have to like get someone else's link and put on your own profile so that you can be able to run your ad, right? But in a scenario whereby you don't have, that is the only option you have, and you just have to do that. So if you want to do that, let's say I'm into digital marketing, right? So I'm just going to search for digital marketing agency in Nigeria, for instance. So I'm going to be searching here. You see the first one that actually showed up for us, which is sociallander.com. So they are even running ad. So I'm going to be clicking on their on their I'm going to be clicking on their URL, right? So once I click on the URL, I don't know why it's not going through, and I hope these people, they are not aware that people cannot access their website. So unfortunately their website is not going through, so I'm going to be looking for another website again. So this is Ziza Digital. I'm going to click on this Ziza Digital. Let's see if their own website will go through. All right, so their own website is going through, and you see they are digital marketing agency, right? So because I'm into digital marketing, and that is why I am searching for people that are in similar niche with me, right? So all I have to do is to scroll down to their privacy policy. So you see privacy policy, right? So I'm going to be clicking on this privacy policy. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is to just wait for the URL to show here. So once the URL appear here for the privacy policy, I'm going to just copy the URL. But then I think my internet is so slow because I don't know why it's taking time to load anyway. So like I said, this thing is very simple. So I don't have to waste too much time. So I'm just going to assume that this is zizadigital.com/privacy policy, for instance. So I'm going to come here, paste here that privacy module privacy policy. So now we've entered our privacy policy link, right? So without this, you cannot be able to proceed. So this is very, very important. Now, before you submit your form, make sure that the the form details, like everything, you have feed everything correctly before you submit your form, because if you have submitted the form, there is no option for you to actually you see privacy policy link. So just copy the link just like I did, right? And you are good to go. So after you've done that, make sure to go through the form before you click on the submit button, because once you've submitted the form, which is this complete button, once you click on this complete button, you will not have that opportunity to edit the form if you have made any error. So if you have filled everything correctly in this content section, then the next thing is this final page. So in this final page, you can decide to write anything of your choice here. You can also decide to write anything of your choice, like I said here. So if you want people to maybe send you a DM on WhatsApp, this thank you for your response, right? You can say kindly send a DM on WhatsApp for a fast response, something like this, for a fast response. You see, thank you for your response. Kindly send a DM on WhatsApp for a fast response. You see this button text, and also this view. Oh my God, what did I click? So come here and click on this edit, right? So once you click edit, you see view website. So this is a view website. You can decide to change it to something like contact on WhatsApp. So now people will know that once they come to this Slack session, they're going to click this button that says contact on WhatsApp, and they'll be taken to your WhatsApp DM. So the next thing, you see website URL here. So if you don't have a website, there's no problem. You can grab your WhatsApp button, your WhatsApp URL, right? So let me just search for a WhatsApp link generator. So I'm going to be searching for WhatsApp link generator here. So this is the first one, right? So let's just wait for it to load. Then we're going to generate a WhatsApp link. So once you generate your WhatsApp link, you can just come here, paste the WhatsApp link here, and you are all done. Then I don't know why this thing is taking time. So it's because the weather is so dull, and that is why this is quite taking a whole time to open. So I'm going to just hold on, and let's see if the website is going to open so that we can actually generate our WhatsApp URL, right? So once you do that and you click on this submit button, the form is created. So once the form is created, I don't know why this is taking longer time. So but then I'm just going to do something like word.me word.me slash my phone number, right? 42915. So something like this, but I don't know if this is correct anyway. So once everything looks good, just click on this complete button. So this is not the right URL, and I don't know why this is not opening. Okay, yeah, it's opening right now. So I'm going to be clicking on this create a free WhatsApp link. I'm going to be entering my phone number. So this is my phone number, right? So if you have a custom message that you want people to send to you, you can write a custom message here. Then these people, once they click on that button to come to your DM, they will send that message to you. So let's say, hello, I am from TikTok, something like this. Hello, I am from TikTok, and I want to purchase the course. I want to purchase the course, something like this. Then click on this generate link. So okay, so our link has been created, and I'm going to click on copy here. So I'm going to copy this, paste here. So now we have the correct URL now. So forget that they are saying it's invalid, so it's no longer an invalid URL. So I'm going to be clicking on this complete. So once I click on this complete button, you see that the form is going to be created. So let's just wait for it. The internet is so slow today, and I honestly don't know why. Invalid parameter. So for you to see an error like this, that means there's something somewhere that you need to fix before you can be able to click on this submit or complete button. But you see that the website URL is not returning an error message again. So that shows that everything looks good on this end. So let's go back to the content again, and let's see where the error is coming from, so that we can be able to fix it, right? So let's check here again. Let's check here. There's no error here. Let's check here the questions. I think the questions, everything looks good on the question. So I don't know why it is returning a invalid parameter. So let's click on it again for the last time to see if the form is going to be created for us. So you see that the font has been created, which is this a tutorial art course that we just created, right? Now that you have created your form, what is the next thing? How to use the form. So if you want to know how to use the form, there's no problem. Come here to your ads manager, click on ads manager. I'm going to be closing this window. I'm going to be also closing this window, right? So let's just wait for the ads manager to load. Go to the campaign section, right? So because we want to create a campaign and also use this form that we just created, then the next thing is to click on create a campaign. Click on create a campaign, right? So I'm going to be clicking on create a campaign, and let's just wait for it to load. So remember, instant form, you can only see instant form when you are setting up a campaign using the lead generation objective. So I'm going to be selecting this lead generation objective. I'm going to put it on manual. I'm going to click on continue. Then I'll be jumping straight from the ad group level to the ad level, because it's on the ad level that we will see the option to select our lead form, right? But then before then, make sure that you are on this instant form, because if you're on website and you go to the ad level, you will not see the option to select your instant form that you created. So click on continue, then you'll be taken to the ad level. So on this ad level, this is where we have to select the instant form we just created, right? So scroll down to where we have instant form. This time around, we are not creating from scratch again, because we have already created the instant form, right? So all I'm about to do right now is to click on this choose from library. So I'm going to be clicking on choose from library, and I'm going to select the form that we just created. So which is this particular one that we just created, right? So I'm going to be clicking on confirm here. So once I click on confirm, you see that the form is actually here for us. And let's say this is not the form we intend to select, right? Like this form was actually selected by mistake. All you have to do is to click on this replace, right? So click, you once you click on replace, you see either to create a new one or to select from library. So we are still going to use this option to select from library to select the right instant form. So this is all you guys need to know regarding your instance form, right? So if you're having any question, don't hesitate to come to my DM, and I will properly guide you.